Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Real Positive Girl podcast. My name is Sabrina. Happy Tuesday to you all. I hope that you're all doing very, very well. Just a reminder that this week we are talking about why you're not motivated. And specifically today, Tuesday, we are going to be talking about you're relying on willpower. But before we jump into the episode today, again, happy Tuesday. I hope that your day is going really well. I apologize ahead of time if I do sound maybe not as excited as I normally do. I am definitely feeling under the weather, but believe you me, I definitely wanted to get this episode out to you guys because I am so passionate about this week's topic, as with many topics, and I just love getting these episodes out to you guys because I am hoping that it is as helpful as I think it is to you guys. So feedback on that is greatly appreciated. But yeah, so happy Tuesday. I hope you're having a great day. If you're having a hard day, a day that's rough and tough, and you kind of just want to move forward and not remember the rest of this day, I encourage you to do the 5-minute reset, which is to take at least 5 minutes to be by yourself and allow yourself to reset, reboot, restart your day right then and there. You can also decide to draw a line in the sand and kind of just forget the first part of the day that's really been dragging you down, causing you issues and trouble, and start fresh right from there. It'll also allow you to come up with a resolution for any problems, issues that you are dealing with alone or with someone else. And you can also take a break from any issues or burdens that you are dealing with, that are dragging you down, that are causing you problems. Also, I always encourage everyone to make a list of at least 4 things that you are grateful for, big, small, or medium. You know, you can be grateful that you were able to maybe make Christmas cookies. Maybe you're grateful that you finally wrapped every present. Maybe you're grateful that you got to talk to some family and friends on the phone and maybe video chat and hang out. Or maybe you're grateful that it's creeping closer to Christmas, maybe one of your favorite times of year, like me. I don't know what I was watching, but I feel like someone put it into perspective for me that I do enjoy the lead up. Oh, that's right. It was Taylor Woods. She also has a podcast of her own. And it's called Don't Get It Twisted. If you want to check it out, she's really funny. She's super funny. But anyway, she was talking about how the lead up in the season of Christmas is more exciting than the actual day of Christmas. And I have to agree. I do truly believe in the reason for the season and God coming and being born and being blessed into all of our lives, because eventually he gives his life for us, is definitely the reason for the season. But I do feel like in general, in enjoying it as like something fun and traditional, I do feel like the lead up to Christmas is more exciting than the actual day of Christmas. That's just me. But maybe, if you are just living your best life and you're grateful that you're in your favorite season, that's definitely something to be grateful for. You can literally be grateful for anything. It's a never-ending list, which is fantastic. And before you end your 5-minute reset, make sure that you're feeling at least neutral, if not positive, about the rest of your day, because hopefully coming up with those things that you're grateful for and really just putting the focus more on the positive blessings that are happening in your life will help you to realize that not everything is terrible, and hopefully leaning more into thinking about the positive things in your life will help you to get through any rough, tough, negative things that you are currently going through. But I do hope that you are having a fantastic day on this Tuesday. Like I said at the top of the show, we are talking about why you're not motivated this week. And today, Tuesday, we are talking about you're relying on willpower. So let's just jump right in. A lot of people like to rely on willpower to help them not do something or to keep doing something, and couple that with motivation. Sometimes we will liken willpower and motivation to be the same thing, interchange those words. But honestly, willpower isn't something you should rely on because it's not reliable. It's just not. And it easily fades. I believe it could be helpful in addition to discipline, but for sure not alone. You can't just let willpower be your ride or die to make sure that you accomplish the things you want in life and go after them. It's just not realistic. I personally feel like willpower is comparable to a caffeine rush or something else that is temporary and waning in the moment you need it most. Willpower is definitely something that, you can wake up in the morning and then be like, okay, let's get up and go to the gym. And maybe it's the beginning of your fitness journey or the beginning of you restarting your fitness journey. or maybe you created New Year's resolutions, which I am not against at all whatsoever. We will be talking about that soon. But you're on your jump start of whatever it is you're trying to go after, whatever it is you're trying to achieve, and that is one of your goals that you've set, and you get really excited. And willpower, I just feel like, yeah, it can definitely course through your veins like some sort of caffeine rush, where you're like, okay, let's go to the gym, let's work out, let's do it. But I don't feel like it's there when you need it the most, when you're like 2-3 weeks in, even after a month, and you're just like in that alarm goes off at 5:30 or 6 a.m. and you're like, oh, I don't want to get up. And like, willpower is not going to be there to catch you when you fall. It's not going to be there to like push you out of bed. It's just an initial spark. I honestly feel like you can even compare it to like a honeymoon phase, where it's just like, yeah, everything seems good and golden, but when the hard times come, when the stress comes, when the pushback and negative experiences come, willpower is not going to push you through. I do not believe it is. I do believe it's helpful in the moments where you do get really excited about something at the beginning of your journey, and even will spark up in the middle, especially if there are new additions to your goal, when you just add new things in that kind of like spice things up, and then it can be reignited for another temporary phase, but it's not going to be there the whole way through. The thing that's going to be there the whole way through, not even motivation will be, it's discipline. And we will be talking more about discipline, obviously, at the end of the week, but discipline is the thing that's going to push you through and get you through from beginning, middle, really, really hard, tough times and end of achieving your goals. I want to share with you some reasons why willpower is just not it. It's just not her. She's just not the person that you want to dedicate your whole life to. Willpower, for the first one, willpower is easily overestimated. So, you think that you are the strongest, and I feel like the most easiest way for me to explain this is talking about like being on a diet, which I also don't fully agree with. I personally think that understanding true nutrition in your food and intuitively eating, once you figure out what correct portion sizes are and what you think the most nutritious things that you want to eat, by also sprinkling in things that you really enjoy, like, creating a true balance. But anyway, so if you decide that you're like, okay, well, I don't want to have cookies during the week, I just want to have cookies on the weekend, because you have problems with sugar. Like, and I understand that. I've definitely been there where I have limited my sugar on purpose, because I feel like I do struggle with a sugar addiction, because I don't know, I just love sugar. It's so good. But let's say that you decide, okay, I'm not going to have cookies Monday through Friday or Monday through Thursday. And then you're like, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's cookie time. We're getting down on some cookies. And, but then you think, okay, yeah, I can get through 4 days or 5 days or whatever it may be. But let's say that on day 2 or 3, you're like, oh, I really want some cookies. But like at first when you started, you're like, oh, I can do this. You're like, you overestimated the fact that you could say no to those cookies. And I think that truly deep down, we all could say no to the cookies. I think we could. I think no matter who you are, you literally could. But you make the choice not to, because again, and you think that you have enough willpower to say no to the cookies, but you're like, but then you give in. And that just proves that willpower is not everything. And let's say you do hold out those 5 days, then you have cookies, right? But then are you sure you're going to be able to do it the next week and the next week and the next week, and however long you decide to carry on whatever it is that you are trying to deny yourself or not do for a certain period of time, it's going to start to fade and wane, and you're going to possibly, and I don't want to be negative, I just feel like this is a real life experience where you're going to actually figure out like, okay, well, is there an excuse or a reason I can come up with that I'm going to eat a cookie on a Wednesday, even though all I have to do is wait 2 more days or 1 more day, whatever, depending on what time it is on the Wednesday. Most likely it's going to be like 10:30 p.m. on a Wednesday where you want a cookie because you haven't had one in so many days. But you know what I mean? It's just overly estimated. Like in the beginning of anything, you generally overestimate a lot of things. We don't always take into account the negative things, the trials, the struggles, the issues that could come up, because that can really deter us from actually going after our goals, actually like wanting to go through those challenges and be on that journey, because no one really wants to focus on that. I think that in healthy goal setting, you want to kind of come up with some of the struggles that you might encounter so that you're kind of at least mentally prepared. I wouldn't say that you have to over prepare or to make a great giant list of things that you will struggle with, but I think that if you are just honest with yourself of the things that could come up, not that they would, but they could, and then you're more prepared for the situation. But it's not going to be willpower that's going to get you through. It's going to be discipline and preparation. So yeah, I just think that willpower, we easily estimate how strong our willpower is, especially in the beginning or against something that has crippled us so much in the past. Not that we can't overcome it, but I just feel like it's not the only thing we should be relying on. Another reason why it's not is your self-control isn't always in control. Again, with the cookies, like, maybe you're like doing so good, but maybe you have a bad day and you're like, man, all I really want is to have a cookie right now. And again, I'm not advocating for eating because of stress, but maybe, just one cookie, like you just really want to have a cookie because it would be nice to have like a little dessert with your super healthy dinner or lunch or whatever it is. And there's nothing wrong with that because, again, I believe we should all be eating in balance. But yeah, your self-control isn't always in control, right? Or maybe if you are trying to break some sort of addiction and you typically will lean on that addiction when you're having a hard stress day, like smoking or drinking or whatever it is, and you just self-control is not always in control. You get the better of yourself and you end up leaning on that because you're in the beginning stages of figuring out that balance, figuring out that discipline, figuring out how to run that course and that journey. I just encourage you to really understand that, yeah, self-control isn't always in control, and that's okay because we're all human and we shouldn't all be expected to always be the best at everything. The last reason I want to share with you why why willpower is just not it, is that it's self-defeating thoughts easily crush willpower. So if you do struggle with telling yourself negative things on the regular, then yeah, willpower is not going to be your best friend. It's not going to be the thing that carries you through, because if you are like, okay, I'm going to get up, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm getting ready, but then you're like, oh, but what if people make fun of me? Or what if, I don't know how to do something and I struggle? Or what if I just continually feel embarrassed? Or what if I can't do as many reps or run as long as I thought I was going to, And then that willpower starts to just drain like a quick battery, and you're like, oh, but I have all these reasons and I'm telling myself I can't do this and I'm just not going to be as good as everyone. And those self-defeating thoughts will easily crush that willpower down to zero. And then what are you left with? Nothing, especially if you didn't invest in creating a habit and also relying on the discipline and also working on being more positive in your personal mindset and thoughts to help you get through those times where you're second guessing yourself and where you don't have as much self-confidence as you may have at a different time or before, or will gain over time. So today, again, I know that was like a quick list. We're going to jump right back into another list here. I didn't really intend for that to be a list, but you know what I mean. Just the way that I wrote the notes and now they came out of me. But anyway, today I want to share with you, this is the actual official list of the episode, as there generally is. Today I want to share with you some alternatives to willpower that will work better, that I think will work better. So, alternative number 1, and there's only 4, just so you know. Alternative number 1 is to build better habits. I think I kind of sprinkled this in as I was talking about the reasons why I don't think willpower is it. You have to build habits. And I also read a study within the last few months that said that a habit is actually not built until I think 92 and a half or 93 days, actually, because you know how everyone says a habit is built in like 30 days. I don't truly believe that, especially after reading the study, because even before that, it was like really hard to believe, like, yeah, sure, you could do something for 4 weeks, but I feel like even after 4 weeks, you could easily just give that up. You could easily just walk away from whatever it is what you were continuously doing, and it hasn't really actually grown into a habit for you. I truly believe that a habit is built in 3 months. It just makes sense because it's like a good portion of your time, of your year. You're really, really investing, and by that time, it actually is like a habit. It's like, okay, yeah, your body has come accustomed to waking up at this certain time to go to the gym, or your body has come accustomed to, eating in a certain way if that's what your goal is, or maybe you've actually come accustomed to learning actual skills and abilities for whatever it is you're trying to learn and achieve. I believe that. So I encourage you to build better habits, actually create the habit of going to the gym, eating healthy, playing the guitar, getting better on your shot if you're playing basketball or throwing a football or dancing, ice skating, whatever it may be. Even like writing, like the more that you write, the better that you get. And the longer that you are, then you can actually see real progress over time. A month of just writing is not going to really show you that you've done that much better, to be honest. I honestly think if you wrote for a whole year and then looked back, you'll see real progress, but that's a conversation for another day. But again, build better habits. Build an actual habit of you doing the thing continuously if that's how it should be designed. I know that not all goals you have to create a habit in doing it, but if you can build in habits in there for you to better your success and ability to achieve that goal, then do it. So even if it's like a goal to like, maybe you want to quit smoking and like just not smoking for 3 months, that's great. But then you're like, okay, well, I need something else to be built in there. Maybe the habit is that anytime you have a craving for a cigarette is that you decide to maybe go work out if you can, if that can be built into your schedule. Or maybe you'll do the gum, or maybe you will have something else that you can have in your, like maybe like a mint or something else. Because if you're watching sugar, then there's a limitation on what you can use as some sort of like way to have that oral fixation that you had before. If it's caused by stress, find a different way to let that stress out. And over time, with discipline, you will be able to overcome that habit. And I think that if you do it for at least 3 months straight, 93 days, you will be able to crush that. So that's alternative number 1. Alternative number 2 is to let go of perfection. I feel like a lot of times, we'll use willpower so that we can be our best, so we can continue to like push ourselves, reach for the stars, whatever. But we have to learn that not everything is going to turn out perfect. And I feel like a lot of times we will want everything to be lined up. We want everything to be in its right place, its right time, everything to work out as perfect as we possibly can make it, and using willpower to push us to do as much as we can. But there is no such thing as perfection. There is not going to be a time where everything is perfect. It's just not going to happen. And I'm telling you from the perspective in the life of someone that lives so long thinking that I could hit that moment of perfection and have everything in my life be perfect. And it's not reality. That's not a negative thing either. It's just knowing that I'm going to try my best to do everything, but when things fall apart, when things don't line up perfectly, it's okay. And so we need to let go of that. And trying to instill willpower for us to continue to push for that is not going to help you get there, because it doesn't exist. But also, we should all be learning to let go of perfectionism so that we can enjoy our lives more and not be so fixated on that impossible dream. Alternative number 3 is to accept mistakes and move forward, grow in self-compassion. It's very important to accept mistakes because they're going to happen, right? Like I said before, in alternative number 2, you got to let go of perfection. No one's perfect. You can't be perfect. You can feel like you're perfect for a while, but there's going to be a slide, and that's not me being negative. It's being realistic, because one of the best ways for us all to learn is to have mistakes, failures, faults, and that's fine. Honestly, it's never fun when you get there. It's never fun when you encounter those things, those experiences, but it's helpful. You always learn something from it. Hopefully you take as many learning lessons as you can from those experiences to apply to your life as it goes, so that life is easier and maybe you don't have to go through as many learning lessons. Like, that's the point. But yeah, I encourage you to just accept mistakes, because with willpower, as I mentioned, it's not super strong, and self-control is not always in control. So it's going to be important for you to understand that, yeah, you are going to fall. You're going to make mistakes. You are going to just fail a little bit, and that's okay. And you need to accept the fact that that will happen. But you also need to accept the fact that you need to be able to pick yourself up again after those failures and continue moving forward. Don't give up. And don't rely on willpower to be the thing that picks you up again, because it probably won't. It'll probably be like, hey, I'm over here waiting for you to get back on top of it so that I can be there at the high points, not the low points, right? Willpower is generally there at the high points, not the low points. So you have to be able to have the discipline to continue to push through, get yourself back up after you fall down again, and continue on your journey. Alternative number 4, and the last alternative that I want to share with you today, is to be grateful for willpower when it comes. I don't think that you should rely on willpower. That is my personal opinion, and is also based on research that I read on the internet. And honestly, there are so many books out there. When I was actually doing the research, there are several books that are called one's called Willpower Doesn't Work, and the other one's called Don't Rely on Willpower or something like that. And it's just amazing. A lot of people feel the same. I feel like willpower feels like that normal thing that you want to talk about and you want to feel like you have, that's going to get you through those hard times, but that's not it. And I think that we should all be grateful for when we do have willpower, when we're like, okay, we can do this, we can go, let's do it, let's continue to do it, as opposed to the times where we have to tap into discipline and be like, you know what, you don't want to do this right now. It doesn't feel great, it's not exciting, it's not fun at all, but I have to do it, because you got to do things, you got to do hard things, you got to do things you don't want to do to be able to excel and achieve and, gain the knowledge and experience that those journeys to, win the goal will give you. So it's important to, be grateful when the willpower does come, use it to its best ability, continue to float on that little cloud. And then when it drops you off at your next stop, then you got to tap back into those habits you created and the discipline that you should be using as your foundation. So that's all I have to share with you guys today, talking about your relying on willpower. Thank you so much for listening to the Real Positive Girl podcast. Again, my name is Sabrina. I hope that you really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for listening, downloading, sharing. I appreciate it. Please continue to do it. We are almost at our goal, guys. We are under 800 now. I think we're closer to 700 to hit 10,000 by the end of the year, which is fantastic. But again, if we don't hit it, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. I'll just continue trugging along, and but I'm so grateful for you guys. So check the description box for notes for the show, where to find me on Instagram. Also, I am working really hard to be more present on the show page on Instagram. I'm definitely pretty present on my personal one, so you can check them both out. And my email address for any questions, comments, concerns, prayer requests, feedback, topic suggestions, or just to say hey, hi, hello to me. But until next time, have a good one. Happy Tuesday, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.